Tuesday, February 3rd, and you're watching the Hammer Daily here on the Hammer Betting Network, presented by our good friends over at FanDuel. I'm your host for today, Jason Cooper, alongside my producer for the next hour and a bit, Jacob Germania, rocking the multicolored, is that a TFC jersey?
It is, yes.
TFC jersey. There we go. I know where that's from. That's in Toronto.
Down the street.
There we go. TFC jersey from Jacob today. I'm not rocking my oat sweater, but maybe another day. We got a great show for you today. Speaking of the show today, let's bring up the lineup. Who we got on? You see the ticker at the bottom, but let's run through it right now. We got Matt Russell coming on, leading the way, batting leadoff, first on the ballot right now. Going to talk through some Super Bowl 60 props, talk through the side total, ask them to prepare some anytime touchdown scores, as I forced to do for every single one of my guests. I feel like you can't talk about a Super Bowl without making them talk at least about a little bit about some anytime touchdown scores. We're going to talk about like some paths to success for the teams, some props, just general Super Bowl discussion. Then Rom's going to come on as well. Going to talk Super Bowl as well. I've dug into some novelty props. I'm kind of forcing Rob's hand on some of these novelty props. And I'm not talking about like will Cardi B get proposed to by Stephon Diggs at the end of the game? No, not those kind of novelty props. We're looking like the Super Bowl specials. I'm talking about shortest touchdown scored, teams that can score 3 consecutive times, number of players to record a pass attempt, props of that nature. Ones that we rarely see or never see during the year, but we're going to get during the Super Bowl. We're going to talk about how we can take advantage of them. Also, going to talk through some head coaching hires with him. We did a video on Forward Progress on the Forward Progress YouTube channel, talking through some head coaching hires. Since that video's come out, there's been a couple head coaching hires and defensive coordinator hires and offensive coordinator hires. And then finally, we close out the show with Alex and so we got Edric every single day this week. So, excited to get into things, excited to talk about all the stuff we have to talk about today. Speaking of head coaching hires, speaking of offensive coordinator hires, Matt Nagy to the New York Giants. Jacob, I hear you laughing in the background because you're a Giants fan. How are you feeling about that one?
Not great, to be honest.
Yeah, it's where do I begin with this? Harbaugh, this past summer we did a poll with a bunch of the guys who are on Forward Progress. We just kind of polled top 10 head coaches. One of the highest scoring head coaches, I believe he was second or third, was Harbaugh. And I talked to a lot of people who did it, and I was wondering why. I don't disagree. But a lot of people said one of the things that he has over a lot of other guys where he doesn't call plays, he's not an offensive genius, not a defensive genius. He's a good CEO, and he's good at like finding coaching talent. I look back, I'm like, yeah, that's true. You know what? Mike McDonald, fantastic coach. But I'm looking at his offensive coordinator hires over the past couple years, and I'm just like, I don't know if that's true anymore.
They're just like,
I don't know if
they're
it's
not very
true.
modern hires.
Yeah, like
which is concerning.
Of course,
Harbaugh's been aggressive in the past. Like he's okay going for it on fourth downs in like the correct spots to do so, but I don't know. This doesn't seem like a progressive sort of move for the Giants.
I think I agree with you there. I mean, I was not a fan of Todd Monken with the Ravens. I was not a fan with their offensive coach hires with Greg Roman, Marty Moore. I can't even pronounce his name. He was the offensive coordinator there with, I believe it was his first, Lamar's first and second year. Anyways, I just feel like all these guys they've hired over the career of Lamar Jackson has not been offensive coordinators suitable to get the most out of Lamar Jackson. Maybe I'm wrong here. Maybe I'm talking a little bit out of hand, but I think he's done and repeated the same thing with Jackson Dart now too. I don't know if Matt Nagy can get the most out of Jackson Dart and Cam Scadaboo and that offense. Not saying listen, that offense has some great pieces to work with. The offensive line has a lot of troubles. It's going to need to improve a lot there. Going to obviously use the draft to improve that, you would assume. But I don't think that's just I just don't think that's a good hire at all. But anyways, we'll talk to Rob about that in just a bit. Before we get into things, quick reminder here. If you're not already in our Discord, what are you doing? You're missing out. We have over 1,700 people in that Discord typing away, chatting all day, breaking down some games, sharing their banger bets. Some of our creators share their bets. Hammer audience shares their bets. It's just a great place, great community to talk betting, talk sports, talk all that kind of stuff. We even talk some cards in there as well. Join us at discord.gg/hammer and see what you've been missing out on. You're going to want to do that. Discord.gg/hammer. All right. I also have a bone to pick too. Not with our next guest though. Not mad at our next guest. Can never be mad at our next guest. But I have a bone to pick with Rob. He's saying I'm not on the Super Bowl. I'm not on the Super Bowl show. What the fuck is going on? Anyways, let's bring on our first guest here. Let's talk some Super Bowl props. According to him, he's a sports betting purveyor, which I love. I love that adjective. Matt, how's it going?
I'm good, buddy. I cashed the first long shot bet of Super Bowl week. A Marty Mornhinweg reference.
Yeah.
Did not see that one coming.
Yeah.
Did not see that coming, especially because it's Super Bowl week. Marty, I don't think, got particularly near a Super Bowl, if I'm not mistaken. Speaking of Super Bowls, Jacob's jersey, I thought that was like a T-shirt from a Super Bowl from like the mid-'90s. Remember like the sick logos that we used to have for the Super Bowl?
Yeah, we need to bring those back.
Like, whatever happened to those? Like, I thought Jacob had like a Super Bowl 32 shirt on for a second there. Not a soccer guy over here. Not a soccer guy. So good to be with you, my friend. Good to see you again. Listen, man, maybe we'll both be included if we get to a 6 or 7 hour jobby tomorrow for your listen, I'm happy to be here.
Of course.
Happy to open for the rock star that is Rob. So,
all right.
How are you? Are you
good?
Pumped for this game?
Pumped,
like,
excited, looking forward to it. I've been like the Seattle guy. I don't want to say the Seattle guy all year, but like preseason, before the season started, in the off season, just all I was talking about. I just felt like everyone and the world was too low on Seattle, and I just you looked at the odds and like people had the Cardinals like with a higher likelihood to win the division in Seattle. And I just thought that was crazy town. And I just I feel like a little vindicated here with Seattle, how well they've done this year, how far they've gotten. Obviously I was wrong about a ton of stuff, but like it feels when you're like so convictious about a team. And you're right. Like, listen, I don't have a ticket for them to win the Super Bowl. I'm not going to go out there and say that I had them to win the Super Bowl, but I just had like a lot of conviction about them. And yeah, it's just feels good. Feels good.
Yeah, no, that's great. I was hoping you had a ticket on the Super Bowl. I was going to say, like, you can be wrong about a lot of stuff, but if you've got a ticket on the favorite to win the Super Bowl at the prices that they were being offered, then you can just go ahead and be wrong about a lot of stuff and make up for it with that one ticket. So, no, that's good. I was way wrong on the Seahawks. I'll be honest with you.
Sorry, yeah. I didn't mean to like accost you saying that like you're one of the people who I was disagreeing with, but
not at all. Listen, like I said, you can be right about a lot of stuff. You can be wrong about a lot of stuff. The right stuff outweighs the wrong stuff, and it has this year. So we've had a pretty good season from that perspective. But it allows you to come in with a fresh take on the Super Bowl, right? Where I'm not sitting there going like, I've had this belief in either one of these teams for X amount of time. And, what happened for me, if you want to get right into it, is like when I was starting to write my preview for it, I was similar to you where I was like, yeah, Seahawks. And then I just start kind of digging into stuff. And I'm like, I'm finding it really hard to kind of, when you have to write about this stuff and actually, it's like, studying for an exam or writing an essay, you're like, I don't have the key points here for why this line needs to be -4.5. It doesn't mean that I think that the Patriots are going to win or that, that I don't think Seattle's going to win. I just kept looking at it and I was like, man, like these teams are starting to look pretty similar to me, even though if the messaging throughout the course of the season has been really different in that department.
Yeah, no, I think I can understand where you're coming from there. And I think I have some Seattle blinders on. I feel like the 4.5 is almost like the Goldilocks zone where it feels just about right. We're seeing the money line of the game kind of run out of it a little bit. I saw it was like around -200 to start, but now it's run out to like -235. You might be able to get the Patriots at +200 as underdogs, which I feel like is kind of crazy considering they're only +4.5 on the spread here. I want to talk to you about like sort of keys to the game, paths to success, because I like to take a look at when we talk the Super Bowl, like the path to how both these teams got here. And like in the playoffs, New England, they sort of been, I don't want to say they're living off their pass rush, but their pass rush has been super successful, playing well above what we've seen in the regular season. I think they've done a great job so far in the playoffs. On the other hand, though, Drake May has kind of been a bit of a letdown. Now, is that injury? People are saying it might be a hand thing, shoulder issue. We don't really know, and we're not really going to know. But the Drake May stuff has me a little concerned. On the other side, Seattle feels like they've been completely dominant on both sides of the ball, where the questions around Seattle was never their defense, it was their offense. Can Sam Darnold kind of answer the bell at the right time? Can he be clutch? Can he win in these high-pressure moments? And he's done so. So I want you to talk to me about your sort of keys to the game or like paths to success for both teams and what they need to do kind of win Super Bowl 60, starting with the Patriots. And don't say score more points than the other team.
I would never. Actually, the way I do things, right, I kind of start with the point spread because, that's the thing that's going to dictate sort of where we're at, right? And I just look at it and I go, for one, Seattle has had this market rating that has like crept up throughout the season because their metrics started so well, right? First half of the season, it was look at the passer rating for Darnold and the EPA per play on dropbacks and all that sort of thing, and then defensively look at the run defense, all of that. And so once we sort of get the wheels going on feeling good about a team like that, it's up to them to kind of disprove or prove it, and it's only up to whatever matchups that you have over the course of the season. And so they were sort of lucky in this weird way to be able to play the Rams a couple of times, 3 times of course, but beat them a couple of times, because every time they beat the Rams, they would get this boost in public perception. And it didn't seem to bother anybody that the Rams got progressively worse throughout the season, right? Like because we couldn't quite pinpoint what the hole was for the Rams, right? And it's like, well, I'm not going to be worried because they lost at Atlanta. Well, I'm not going to worry that they almost lost as 10.5-point underdogs. Oh, I'm not going to be worried that they almost lost to the Bears. And then sort of Seattle gets to kind of ride that wave. They get to draft on it. I know you're a huge F1 guy, right? Or you haven't been since Daniel Ricciardo left. I know he was your guy. But like, drafting, right? Where you're just like riding along with the guy ahead of you and then you get a chance to kind of zoom past them. That's kind of what it's been like for Seattle. And so when I'm watching Seattle, I want to be a little bit more impressed with the victories that they've had to sort of ride their way up to, honestly, at -4.5 on a neutral field against the Patriots, they are the #1 power rated team in the betting market. Obviously, there's only 2 teams at this point, but I mean, that's sort of where they have been, or where they've gotten to from a rating perspective. And I just look at it, and you mentioned Darnold, and it's interesting, talking about paths to this game. Like, I think these 2 teams are so similar because of the Patriots' run defense with Christian Barmore, Khyiris Tonga, and of course Milton Williams. And when those 3 guys are available to play this season, their run defense has been basically just as good as Seattle's run defense, which is the thing that like the Seahawks have been kind of hanging their hat on all season long, as being sort of by far the best over the course of the season. And so when you're talking about paths, I think both these teams, if they're just going to kind of run into the line here, they're just going to clunk their heads together in a lot of ways, which then means, all right, the Super Bowl is then going to be on the arm of one of these 2 guys, or both of these guys, essentially. And so when I look at it like that, I go, well, am I wrong, or is Drake May not going to be at least sort of top 2 in MVP voting? And so like we can parse through whether that was necessarily the case, whether he's truly sort of a top 2 quarterback in the league. What we've seen over these last 2 weeks is like all of a sudden the perception, what people are kind of talking about is the idea that maybe Sam Darnold is the more trustworthy guy in this game. And I kind of don't know how we got there with that either, right? And it's because, right, he has this good game against the 49ers team. Or I don't even call it a good game. He didn't really have to do anything against this 49ers team, right? But he has the really good game against the Rams. And meanwhile, the Rams, right, the perception is the Rams, defense, which started out really good, that defense fell apart towards the back half of the season, right? They got sort of into that bottom third area in EPA per play on dropbacks, and you adjust for garbage time and for turnover and stuff. So and by the way, he was also playing at home in both those games in like pretty nice conditions. And so I just look at it and go like, man, he's getting a ton of credit for like a relatively easy path that the Seahawks earned, right? They earned that path, but like that doesn't really get them anywhere for this neutral site game with the Patriots. Whereas the Patriots, obviously everybody talks about how like easy the schedule was. I get it. I'm certainly one of those people. But like it wasn't really that much easier than what the Seahawks had to deal with, right? Where it's like, yeah, you get the Colts, but you get them at the perfect time. At home, Phillip Rivers hasn't played in 5 years. You get the Vikings, Max Brosmer, full stop. Right? And even the Saints, right? Even the Saints team that was like scrappy towards the back half of the season. No, we got them at the start of the season when Spencer Rattler was involved. Right? And so you're just like, well, there's a lot of holes that you can sort of point to it, but they've had the Rams with them to sort of be this 2 sort of horse race. Well, Jay, like, didn't we not just watch this season that is like the most epitome of parody, right? It's like Paul Tagliabue's wet dream here. This like, oh, everybody is basically the same. The idea that the Rams and the Seahawks are just way better than everybody else doesn't really seem like it makes a ton of sense. And so that's why I'm kind of looking at this point spread and the game script with the idea of these two teams kind of running, essentially into a brick wall that is each other is, all right, so the path here is, all right, whose quarterback is going to be able to do more? And then, I think people are giving Darnold a lot of credit because he has Jackson Smith and Jigba out there, who's obviously the best weapon on the field. Well, who's the best corner that Jackson Smith and Jigba's played all season? You can go up and down that schedule and sort of be like, well, there's a Derek Stingley matchup, against Houston, like, I think it was like week 7, week 8, something along those lines, at home. But there's no Christian Gonzalez on there, right? And so now it's all of a sudden, man, I think the under is certainly sort of prominently involved here because I think you're going to get these teams that are going to still try to run the football. Clock's going to be moving. I don't think they're going to have a ton of success. I think you're going to have these defenses that if they give up anything, it is going to be between the 20s. So we're probably looking at a fair amount of field goals when teams do score. I think the under is certainly, in play here. And because, as I've sort of mentioned, I don't really know what the difference is at this point between these two teams. That's why I like the plus 4.5. But the path here is going to be which quarterback can kind of come through here. And so, there's some concern about Drake May's injury. Same that there's been sort of, latent concern about Sam Darnold's oblique over the course of the playoffs, right? Like the mirror elements to this where you can literally, have a problem with one team and then kind of put that same problem under the microscope for the other team is really what makes the Super Bowl the most interesting that it could possibly be, given sort of, how little we know about both of these teams, given that they're sort of them as a current entity is sort of new, even though we've seen the matchup, the jerseys on the field before.
Yeah, no, it's I love that analysis there, the breakdown as well. Specifically talking about like the arms are going to win this game. I think just to push back a bit, I would like if I would need to win the game tomorrow, I'm taking Drake May. Like let's not get twisted here. I think most people
I don't think that's a pushback. Supporting.
but yeah, I think the expectations for Sam Darnold, I think the recency bias is coming in here with why people I think like Sam Darnold so much because he does something that I like to do as well, where it's you got to come in. I have an oblique injury. Let's set the expectations a little bit low and then exceed them by a mile. So then you look great. Right. But I do. I just think that the combination of Darnold and Kubiak will have maybe more success against. I don't want to say like a lesser defense. I think that's fair to say, even though they do have stars on their defense, this New England Patriots defense. I think they'll might be able to find more success through the air than Drake May, McDaniels, and against this Seattle defense. That's the only pushback I have.
Yeah, it's certainly possible, right? But that does that sort of theory equate to 4.5 points? I think is what I have to sort of
course
parse out because when I look at again the Seattle defense, I go, all right, again, you go through if you want to fine tooth comb the schedule, it's like a bunch of kind of grim teams. They played the Tampa Bay Buccaneers at their absolute best. And Baker Mayfield was shredding that defense, right? They play the Rams a couple of times. I think the Rams combined for 1,000 yards in 2 games. And so, it's 2026, right? The defense can only take you so far once you run into a really good offense. I don't know that I'm necessarily there with the Patriots as far as being a really good offense. But if you really sort of stacked, if you ranked all of the Seattle opponents by their offense, Rams are probably number 1, had 1,000 yards on them. And then, the Patriots are 2 or 3, I think, at this point. And again, that's looking at the Seattle schedule that, again, is not being talked about for being soft in the same way that the Patriots schedule has been. So, again, you reference Sam Darnold and Kubiak. It's I come back at you with the Drake May, Josh McDaniels, right? And it's just again, we're Spider-Man meme, man. We're looking at these two teams in the mirror going I get why people like Seattle because they've had this sort of tailwind throughout the season. But when I sit back and look at it, again, when I'm trying to put sort of pen to paper, so to speak, I'm like, man, every one of these arguments that I can make on Seattle, I can make a very similar sort of parallel with the Patriots. Again, it's a really interesting matchup.
Yeah, I'm excited. I'm super excited for this Super Bowl. It's going to be a fun one for sure. I have you for a couple more minutes here. I'm going to force you anytime touchdown scorers, one from each team. Give it to me.
So I'm a big tight ends guy. I also like betting on them.
You're preaching to the choir. I
also like betting on them to score. Obviously, Barner and Henry are sort of the main characters there. I want to go a little bit deeper. I want to go second level tight end, longer shot tight end. I think Austin Hooper at a plus 900 type of range is certainly a possibility. May missed him wide open, or at least sort of half the field, NFL wide open, if you will, right? Against the Chargers, right, with a deeper sort of pass there early on in the game. So like he's certainly in the playbook with regards to a target. I think there might have been another one that he had a look at against the Texans, but he had a couple over the course of the season, so the math kind of makes sense from an odds perspective. But again, when you're you're spending 2 weeks game planning, and you're looking at the Hunter Henrys of the world, and you're looking at the AJ Barners. The other one, Seattle, backup tight end, same sort of deal. Elijah Arroyo, rookie out of Miami, was involved pretty significantly in this offense at the start of the season, like midway through the season, gets hurt. Comes really close to coming back 2 weeks ago. At the last sort of minute, they're like, no. Like, he was sort of activated and then, like, not put on the main roster. The backup tight end thing for Seattle is, like, pretty grim. We even saw, Jake Bobo, which is he's sort of like obviously kind of a receiving tight end or a blocking receiver. He's kind of in that, like, in-between zone where you're like, you're not really anything out here, and that's why he's only had like 3 receptions all season long. He ends up coming in and getting a touchdown in the NFC Championship game. Well, if Arroyo ends up playing, again, if he doesn't, you just get refunded on your ticket here. But we're looking at 11-1 for him to score. Again, the backup tight end sort of deal with Seattle is kind of grim. And if they decide, all right, we're going to give these guys a little bit of a different look. I think both guys had a touchdown. I think it was against the Cardinals on like a Thursday night game midway through the season. Arroyo's not out there to block, right? This is a 6'5", athlete here, Miami Hurricanes rookie. Again, we're talking about long shots. If he gets a chance to play, it's because they're going to throw it to him. So a couple of long shot guys in the backup tight end realm for the anytime touchdowns for everybody out there.
All right, I love that look. Arroyo as well, like at the start of the year when the Seahawks had sort of all 3 of their tight ends rotating in and out, Barner, Saubert, Arroyo. He was playing roughly around like 40 to 50% of snaps. So it's like he got his looks in there. And when him and obviously Saubert played different roles, because when Saubert was out, he still kind of had the similar snap share that he would normally have. So it's like he has a clear defined role in this offense. He's going to be catching the ball.
And you know what? They weren't afraid to put Helani out there as the backup running back in there for Charbonnet last week. And he had just been coming off an injury as well, right? Remember they had played Velus Jones against the 49ers. And they're like, well, like, if Helani can play, he's in, and he's going to like actually get targets. He's actually going to get touches. Could be a similar kind of thing with Arroyo, where it's like, dude, if you're able to play, which again, 2 weeks ago, he was right there. If you're able to play, you're going to be out there. And again, we're talking about an 11-1 touchdown thing. Like, just give me 1 target to my guy in the red zone, and let's see what happens.
All right, I love it. That is Arroyo 11-1 and Austin Hooper in the 9-1 range. Matt, before you head out, last thing, give me the final score and your MVP.
Okay, we're going 20-16 Seahawks.
Okay.
And we're going to go... I want to just say Jackson Smith and Jigba, but I think a lot of people are going to say that, so what fun is that? If we're talking about value, let's go with Nick Imanwari at 100-1. Nick going to be all over the field. This is a guy who, like, he's got a sack. He's got interceptions. He's got a blocked field goal. He's got fumble recoveries and forced fumbles. He's got all kinds of tackles. He just never does them all in the same game. I don't need him to do them all in the same game. Just give me 2 of those things in this one game, and all of a sudden I think you got a live defensive player for MVP in what I think is going to be a low-scoring game where there's going to be a fair amount of field goals as the primary method of scoring.
Yeah, low-scoring game, field goals, and hey, maybe he can get a pick 6, fumble 6, something there, and then
a bunch of stuff.
Then you're live. Yeah, just do stuff.
And he's like, get Chris Collinsworth talking about you. I need Chris Collinsworth giving him a here's a guy, like 1 per quarter. Where do we bet on 4 quarters of here's a guys from Chris Collinsworth talking about Nick Imanwari?
I'm going to have to ask FanDuel about that one. Matt, appreciate you joining the show. You can follow Matt on Twitter. Link is in the description down below. Also, check out his Substack. I believe it's called The Window. mrossauthentic.substack.com. Go check that out. Matt, appreciate you joining the show. We'll chat soon.
Thank you, brother. Appreciate it.
Awesome stuff there from Matt. As always, give a great breakdown. I love the back and forth we have there because he likes New England. I like Seattle. It's just the back and forth, but that's the fun about this stuff. That's the fun about this stuff is we can bet on it and we can talk through it together. All right. We got our next guest coming on. And I'm very tempted not to bring him on because he told me that I'm not allowed on. Or I don't know, he's saying something about how I'm not the guy to be on the Super Bowl show, even though I've been on the last 3 years. I produced the show for 3 years. I don't know what's happening. I'm like kind of at a loss for words. I'm shocked. I'm disappointed. I'm sure this. I think this is a bit though. I don't know. At least I haven't seen the list yet. Anyways, sorry, I'm thrown off. Got an ad read to do. So let's talk about our friends over at FanDuel. It may be last call for football, but there is still one more week to make it count before Super Bowl 60 on FanDuel. Because all week long, FanDuel is giving you a daily profit boost every single day leading up to the big game. This means more chances to boost your bets, chase bigger payouts, and send football season off the right way. All you have to do is opt in each day and place an eligible bet to use that day's profit boost. So whether you're locking in early lines, riding your favorite props, or taking one last swing before the final whistle, FanDuel's giving everyone something extra to cheer for during football's final week. Tuesday, that's today, we got the rushing markets. So rushing yards, over, under, alt rushing yards, most rushing yards. A lot of people very opinionated yesterday when Corby brought up A.J. Barner under, I believe it was 1.5 yards or under a half yard rushing yards. If you disagree with Corby, take the over. It's plus 116. You can use boost on it. There you go. You can bet on this stuff. Anyways, that's FanDuel.com/forwardprogress for a daily profit boost every day this week leading up to Super Bowl 60. Play your game with FanDuel, official sportsbook partner of Super Bowl 60. 21 plus and present in select states. For Kansas and affiliation, Kansas Star Casino. 18 plus are present in D.C., Kentucky, or Wyoming. Opt-in required. Bonus issue does not withdrawable profit boost tokens. Restrictions apply, including any token expiration and max wager amount. Restrictions apply. See terms at sportsbook.fanduel.com. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER or visit rg-help.com. Call 1-888-789-7777 or visit ccpg.org/China, Connecticut, or visit mdgamblinghelp.org in Maryland. Hope is here. Visit gamblinghelp.org or call 1-800-327-5050 for 24/7 support in Massachusetts, or call 1-877-8-HOPE-NY or text HOPE-NY in New York. For LA, call 1-877-770-7867. All right. A lot of comments here. Did I spill more coffee? No, that's not what, like this. No. Anyways, ask me if I spilled coffee. Honestly, that was I wish we got that on camera, Jacob. You missed it. You were given an ad read when that happened. Anyways, let's bring on our next guest here. Let's bring on Rob, CEO of the Hammer Betting Network. You've seen him on Circle Back. You've seen him on Circles Off. You've seen him on the Forward Progress YouTube channel. Pizza Buffet, regular, watch-alongs, all that kind of stuff. You know him. You maybe feel lukewarm about him like I do. Rob, how's it going?
It's going okay. Listen to your little preamble there about what's going on with tomorrow's show. So I want to clear the air a little bit here. Moretto books out the Forward Progress Props Extravaganza every year. Moretto's the guy that does the booking. He came to me. He said, Rob, I screwed up. I overbooked the show. Got too many people going on here. Mm-hmm. So we've had to go through the list. We've had to make some decisions on who's going to be in, who's going to be out. Part of that process was reviewing some of the plays that were given out last year. And someone gave out the total on the game. They actually bought a point on it as well, or a half point on the total. And someone gave out a side. The person who gave out the side, Jason, do you recall who that was?
Yeah, it was me.
Right. It's the Super Bowl prop betting extravaganza. It's in the title. Prop betting. You came on, you gave out a side. As of now, it's in flux. I don't know if you're going to have a spot or not, because we did actually have one cancellation today. So you're moving your way back up the list, but some tough decisions have to be made. And I don't want to ruin the structure of the show and just like start forcing people in just to come in and give in picks for 2 minutes and stuff like that. I'm very streamlined in my process. So that's where we're at as of right now.
All right. I'm going to start having to like leverage ChatGPT. Someone's asking if we're vetting the show to make sure they're not on the Epstein. I'm going to have to start photoshopping people into the Epstein files if this is the case, because I'm 2-1. I deserve to be back on the show. We have Jeff Feinberg, who I love. I believe he's 1-3.
I don't know his exact record off the top of my head. There are definitely people that are on that have given out losing picks in the past before. But there's also people that have won in the past that I don't reach out to anymore. I mean, you remember a former employee of ours, Luke Campanella.
Yes.
He came out, won Super Bowl, and bet Jesse Bates to record an interception. It was like the worst price imaginable. It was like 5-1, and he won. It happened in the Bengals-Rams Super Bowl. So he then asked me the following year to come back on, and I believe we said no. So got to make tough decisions. There's only 30 spots in total.
I can't believe you just compared me to Luke. Luke's an idiot. Like, what are we doing comparing me to that guy? That's
well, you said it yourself. Yeah, man.
All right. Anyways,
I didn't draw the comparison. You did.
Okay. Here's the thing. If I'm not on the show, there'll be anarchy on Thursday. So we'll see. We'll see.
You have your own show. You have a daily show. You can give out plays every single day of the week.
I have been. I've been talking about it, talking through the stuff with the people, with the chat.
That's what I'm saying. I don't have my own daily show. You got your own daily show.
You have your own weekly show, though.
Sure, but it's not really centered around, like, it's not picks driven. It'd be kind of weird if I hijacked it and started firing off a bunch of picks.
Yeah, maybe I should hijack it on Sunday. Speaking of which, Pizza Buffet is going to be on this Sunday. I wasn't sure about that. I always forget this time of year if we do it for the Super Bowl, but we do.
There's a lot of bets that I like as of now that I just haven't made yet because for some reason or another, I feel like I will get a better price closer to Sunday. So I'll definitely have some stuff on Sunday morning, and it won't just be unders, although a lot of it will be some Sunday unders, just kind of fading a little bit of the steam in some of these markets. But I get some sneaking suspicions based off of the way that some prop services have released plays so far, that maybe they're down on a certain player or high on a certain player, and there's more to come in those types of markets. So I'm kind of waiting it out on some of those, but I'll have a bunch on Sunday morning for sure.
All right. Yeah, sorry, I'm just like a little distraught and like kind of confused, but I'll try and hone it here. Let's get into the.
It's nothing set in stone.
Okay,
you could very well be on the show. I don't know yet. I'm talking to Moretto later on this afternoon. We might be able to slot you in. I don't like this. I don't want this to be personal or anything like that. Of all the, when you're gonna cut someone from a show because you overbooked. Typically speaking, you cut internally. I'm not going to reach out.
It's easy.
Yeah, but G-Stack's like he's my partner in crime. The people like G-Stack.
I'm not saying that people don't like G-Stack, but G-Stack cheers for injuries. I don't know if that's okay.
It is quite a scumbag move. And
he doesn't tip, so it's like another thing. Anyways, I'm a little off track here. Let's get into let's sidebar this for now. Also, I'm not available between 2 and 4, so if you do book me, it has to be outside of that time. Just
aware of your 2-hour haircut that's going on tomorrow. Yes.
All right. Let's
hopefully you can ask the barber for a shave as well and get that thing off of your upper lip.
All right. Oh well, chat says they want me there, so there we go. Let's. I want to talk to you.
Chat from the show that you host wants you there. Shocking turn of events. Absolutely floored by that.
All right. We talked a little bit extensively with Matt earlier on the show about some Super Bowl props. This conjecture, this back and forth has gone on too long. I'm going to sidebar some of these Super Bowl props that I was going to talk to you about, some novelty props. I want to talk to you about some head coaching decisions, some offensive defensive coordinator hires. Just because you guys did a video on Forward Progress, and I hate to give you credit, but it actually was a good video. You kind of ranked, gave letter grades for each hire so far. And since that video's come out, there's been a couple new hirings. 2 new head coaches being hired as of right now. Raiders hiring Clint Kubiak, which I think is a pretty good hire. And the Cardinals hiring Mike LaFleur, which I'm not too high on. But talk us through both these head coaching hires.
Yeah, so I would kind of agree with your assessment. I don't think Clint Kubiak is like, you give him an A+ type of situation for that type of hire. I think the probability that he fixes the Raiders' offensive identity is pretty high. I mean, you look at back-to-back years, he's just took the Seahawks to the Super Bowl. And listen, I know your opinion on Sam Darnold. Mm-hmm. I'm not saying Sam Darnold is bad, but I think Kubiak's put him in some really good spots this year. And on the high end, he could be like a Kyle Shanahan light. He brings that elite zone run scheme, a lot of good play action stuff. It's worked well for the past couple seasons, at least to start last year with the Saints. On the low end, I mean, he could just be, essentially a one-year wonder. Is he a great coordinator or a great head coach? That's the question that you ask with these types of guys. But the probability for me leans towards him being a pretty big upgrade for Vegas. But that CEO type of transition is always a big gamble. With Mike LaFleur, I think this one's a really interesting hire. And you feel like you got to give the guy the benefit of the doubt. I mean, when he was with the Jets, Zach Wilson was awful. You could easily say nobody could win with that. But you also have to admit that he didn't exactly do much to help Zach Wilson there either. Now, for me, Arizona, their personnel is way better than people realize. I mean, on paper, the roster was much better. Like, it's much better than their record showed. They just got decimated by injuries this season. The probability of a turnaround, though, to me, depends on entirely like who they bring in at quarterback there. Because if you look at this type of scheme, and LaFleur is obviously a disciple of, McVay, Shanahan, that coaching tree, this scheme needs a guy who can operate from under center, make the play action game work, make the bootleg game work. If they can find a quarterback that can fit that, there's a good there's a possibility here Mike LaFleur comes out smelling like roses, because I think the team just vastly underperformed this year because of injuries. But I don't know, man, that could be a really wide range of what it ends up being, because that Jets offense with LaFleur, that was a rough watch.
Yeah, it wasn't a good. Again, like you said, the quarterback wasn't there too. But again, who's going to play quarterback for Arizona? We're going to have to wait and see. One thing I do like about Kubiak in the Raiders, their offensive line looked horrendous. You got to assume that they're probably going to add maybe in the second round of the draft, maybe a guard or a tackle or someone just to kind of bolster that offensive line. Maybe free agency would be helpful. But we've seen Kubiak kind of get a lot out of not great talent on the offensive line. So that could be a big bump there for
and they have a stud. They have a stud left tackle. Colton Miller was just injured for a lot of this year as well. My biggest concern with Kubiak is that his offenses have done well, but he leans heavily into the run, like a lot more than other guys around the league. I'm not a super big fan of that. There's obviously a lot of data that shows that you don't necessarily have to run the ball well in order for play action to work, but that's kind of been his MO. Is we're going to run it, and then we'll catch these defenses off guard potentially. And I'm not super high on that type of scheme, but listen, I mean, I think Kubiak is a good hire, and there were a lot of teams interested. So I think the Raiders got the guy they wanted.
Yeah, if it works, I mean, they could kind of replicate what they've done with Ashton Genty as the lead back here, and then Brock Bowers maybe as the JSN type, the JSN role. Maybe that's and then we click Brock Bowers 50-1 offensive player of the year, and then don't look back. So we'll keep that in the back pocket. Couple defensive coordinator hires, couple offensive coordinator hires. Let's start with the Baltimore Ravens, who hired both defense coordinator and offensive coordinator. Declan Doyle hired for Baltimore. Anthony Weaver hired for as their defensive coordinator for Baltimore. Talk us through both those.
You know what? I like the coaching staff that Baltimore's built out. I gave the Jesse Minter hire something around a B. Where, listen, I'm not a big fan of hiring defensive guys as head coaches. He's already come in there, said he's going to be calling the plays for next year. And listen, there's success stories like that, like Mike McDonald would be a great one. And this guy's been highly coveted in this coaching cycle. So I'm going to take these teams' benefit of the doubt that Minter's like this hot mind. But Anthony Weaver, familiar face. I mean, whether or not he's going to be a difference maker at DC, I don't know. Again, his stint in Miami, they were really good last year, fell off a cliff this year. A lot of that was personnel issues. They started trading away players midseason as well. But again, I mean, the probability of success in this role is tied to him being like a teacher, basically an assistant head coach rather than a pure strategist, because they already have the head coach that's going to handle a lot of those duties. So I don't know how much he necessarily moves the needle, even though I think it's a good hire. Declan Doyle, to me, if you're looking for a sleeper hire of the cycle, he might be it. I mean, the probability that this offense becomes more explosive is high, just based on what he just did in Chicago, under the tutelage, obviously, of Ben Johnson, but helped Caleb Williams, I mean, bounce back in a big way this year. His range is very exciting. People around the league talk about, I mean, he's 29 years old. People talk about him like he's an experienced, 40-plus-year-old guy. But Baltimore needs to find a way to blend. Like, they always go back to this elite rushing attack, but they've struggled with like a modern high-volume passing game as well. And no one's really bridged it all together. I think there's an opportunity for him to do it here. So, you look at what he did in Chicago, low turnover rate for Caleb Williams, very high efficiency. I like the move. I think he's viewed as a young, bright mind, and I feel more optimistic about giving a guy like this a shot than like another retread OC from around the league that just doesn't move the needle all that much. Bounces team to team, like a Greg Roman type.
Exactly. I love what they're doing here, giving Lamar they're giving Declan Doyle a young, what we're understand to be a creative mind, giving him like a ton of tools to kind of play around, ton of toys to play with here with Lamar Jackson and the surrounding cast he has there. Kind of crazy. I'm just looking at his like career journey. He was 10 years ago, 19 years old. He was a student assistant at Iowa. And then now he's 10 years later, offensive coordinator of the Baltimore Ravens. So good for him. Obviously, Ben Johnson saw a lot in him to bring him in as the offensive coordinator in Chicago there. So looking forward to that one. A couple other offensive coordinator hires. Sean Mannion for Philadelphia. And then, sorry, Jacob, Matt Nagy for the Giants. Matt Nagy. Talk us through those two.
Yeah, so Nagy happened more recently this morning, so I'll start with that one. Listen, if I was a Giants fan, it would feel pretty uninspiring to me. I think Matt Nagy is a better OC than he's given credit for in a vacuum, but like the probability he's going to revolutionize this offense, I think, is low. And you look at what happened in Kansas City towards the end of this tenure here, like it's just kind of a weird spot. Andy Reid basically did everything he could to hype this guy up for another job, but got him out of the building so he could bring Eric Bieniemy back. I don't know. That kind of tells you a little bit, I think, of where his stock sits, maybe with an elite offensive mind. And I think a lot of Matt Nagy's range is going to be tied to what Jackson Dart is. Listen, you can disagree with me on what Jackson Dart is. I don't think he's the guy necessarily at quarterback for them. And history suggests with Matt Nagy, when the quarterback is an elite, the offense gets a little bit too cute. They lose their way. If they had brought over Todd Monken from Baltimore with Harbaugh, I'd be much higher on this. I think they took like a quote unquote guy they consider to be a safe veteran. I think his high end is he provides some stability for Jackson Dart, but on the low end, I think it could be a really bad offense that doesn't scare anyone. So I don't love that move. Sean Mannion, I think that's a complete wild card for the Eagles, right? The guy was playing quarterback 3 years ago. So I mean, Philly, like betting on him being a prodigy, was he like the only one that was willing to go into this situation in Philadelphia, where it seems like Sirianni's not well liked, and frankly, Jalen Hurts isn't a very good quarterback? I don't know. This one, again, just when you consider all the names at the beginning of the coaching cycle that could have been available at OC, it feels like a big L for the Eagles. So I don't really love either of these ones. There's no way I would grade either of these higher than like a C overall. But obviously, there's a pretty wide range of outcomes when it comes to a lot of these hires.
Of course. With how good Howie Roseman is as GM, I'm shocked that, like it's hard to say. Obviously, you can't fire. Like, you could fire Sirianni after you win a Super Bowl. You probably shouldn't. But it's just like the amount of turmoil it feels like Sirianni's caused this team with just how much – seems like people just don't like him. They don't seem to land good coaching hires. Like, the only time they were able to, like, piece it together was when they got Kellen Moore last year. I don't know. I'm shocked Roseman doesn't can him or hasn't canned him yet. Anyways.
There's a lot of things at play that potentially we don't even know about publicly with a lot of these situations as well. But
yeah,
I mean, coach wins a Super Bowl. It seems to buy them a lot of time, pretty much.
I mean, look at Zach Taylor. Or, I mean, not even Zach Taylor. He didn't even win a Super Bowl. He just made it there. But Vic Fangio as well. I mean, I wonder what's going to happen with him with the retirement stuff. But
I know. That's a really weird story, man.
Anyways, that's it. All right, you're good to go. I'm going to let you out here. Before you go, though, I don't know if you're going to give this out on the prop show. If you are, you can choose to pass. But just give me the final score on the MVP of the Super Bowl.
Okay. Let's go with 24-20 Seahawks and Kenneth Walker MVP.
Okay. All right. Kenneth Walker MVP. I love that one. All right. Oh, so money in the background giving the thumbs down. Oh, no. Oh, no. All right, we're going to have to get his opinion on that, Rob. Appreciate you joining the show. I guess maybe see you tomorrow. I don't know. You got to let me know.
Well, me and Alex will sort it later today. We'll figure things out. But listen, it's nothing about this situation is personal. Just want to make that very clear. It's a lot more challenging for us to call up somebody that we like. I'm not going to call up Levitan and be like, hey, Levitan, you guys do really good prop work all year round, and we invited you on our show, but you know what? We overbooked it, and Jason really wants to do a spot. Like, it's not going to happen.
Okay, how about this? You guys don't have to do any work. I'll message Hitman, and I'll just ask for his spot instead. I'm sure he'll give it to me.
I mean, he probably would give it to you, but I don't know that the audience would want the best prop better in our entire network to not be part of the prop betting show.
Yeah, but like maybe
see where I'm getting at here. The solutions you're proposing are quite frankly really bad, to the point where it's now increasing the probability that we're not going to get you on the show.
All right. Listen, I'm just an ideas guy. I'm just an ideas guy who likes
bad
to give
ideas
out sides.
guy.
Okay. I never specified good or bad. Anyways, Rob, appreciate you joining the show. Yeah, I don't know when I'm going to see you next. So hope you enjoy your Super Bowl if I don't see you.
Yeah.
Right.
I'd say the same to you.
Thank you.
I guess.
Yeah. All right. Good stuff there from Rob as always. If you haven't checked it out already, you should check out the Forward Progress show. We did letter grades on head coaches. They actually did a good job. I'll give them credit. It was a good little video that George and Rob released. So, yeah, go check that out for some letter grades. All right. I'm supposed to promo the prop extravaganza. You guys know what's happening tomorrow, 5 hours, Wednesday. It's tomorrow, 1 to 6 p.m. Forward Progress YouTube channel. You guys know all this stuff. Don't show up if I'm not there. How about that? If we release the list and I'm not there, anarchy. All right? Anarchy. Maybe me and So Money will do an entire props show on Thursday. All right. Let's get into things. Let's bring up the Edgework guys. So Money. Alex. How's it going? Oh,
What's up, Jason?
Not so muted. Not so muted. They still muted. Uh-oh.
Still muted.
There we go.
Stop.
It's all right. I know it's been a rough day for So Money. Rough day for you guys yesterday, too. Don't mean to throw you guys under the bus here. But
was it?
Am I good?
Yeah, you're good. You're good now, I think. I believe you're good now.
There
Let
you
me
go.
just double check. Where is it? There we go. Yeah. Double best bet. You guys got spanked by Buffalo.
That was a tough loss, though, man.
Yeah, I mean, the Panthers outshot them and outplayed them for 60 minutes and found a way to lose that game. But, hey, they don't ask how.
Ask how many. Yeah, no, it was an okay day. It was an okay day. Just a couple unders didn't come through for you, Alex, but it's all right. It's all right. We look to move on today. So, Money, you were giving the thumbs down behind the scenes for the Kenneth Walker MVP, or is that for the final score of the game? Like, what was the thumbs down for?
So, to be fair, as soon as Rob started talking about Seattle winning, like I had an automatic thumbs down. But with the score that he said, I'm actually okay with it.
Okay.
I did play the first half under,
Okay.
and I will be playing the Patriots at some point here.
All right, Mr. So Other Sports comes in unprompted with just, for the people, giving out some of his favorite stuff here for the Super Bowl. Are you going to be betting Olympics, by the way, So Money? I haven't even asked you this. Are you guys going to be – I know Alex wants to take a break, but it's very on brand.
I'm sure Alex will be betting hockey, though.
Will you?
I think so. Alex, you'll be betting hockey, right?
Yeah, I mean, I'll end up betting it. I just haven't done anything, and I was like, kind of like the few weeks of off from the grind of it is like maybe not the worst idea in the world to kind of recharge. But I feel like I will end up getting so unbearably bored in February without NHL, NFL, anything really. I don't watch basketball, so like I feel like I'll end up getting so bored that I'm just gonna find something to do. I know we're having a content break here.
Yes.
At the network, full content break the week of I guess Americans watching this won't know what the hell I'm talking about. The week
20th.
of Family Day, which
Yes.
is the 16th, or
16th, 21st.
there will be no content on the network, and like, you know what, maybe a good time to go away for the week. My wife can't get the time off work, so I'm spending that week painting the main floor of my house. That's what I'm doing. So I'm probably going to be desperate to do anything else. And I don't know. I was going to use the time to get ready for baseball a little bit too. I've done some work to get ready for baseball. Like spring training starts on the 20th. So, kind of getting everything in order before then. That's kind of my plan. I'm just behind. I've just done no work on Olympic stuff right now. And, that's where I'm at.
All good. Listen, if you don't want to bet on if you don't want to put in the work, don't want to do it, that's fine. If you're looking for stuff to do, I can send you like a list of like hobbies and things to start and like starter kits for some hobbies. All I ask is that you just put me on the prop show tomorrow, and then I'll send that over to you. If not, then I won't. And I was gonna suggest, like in the content break, we should go visit So Money.
Yeah,
No?
come down.
Yes, that sounds great. The only downside to that is that if I pitch a trip to BC to my wife, she's going to want me to visit her family because they all live in BC, and then that becomes a whole thing. And do I want to do that? I don't know. I might have to tell her like we're going to like
It's a work
Northwest
event.
Territories, and we'll just work. It's a work trip.
There
That's
you go.
it.
There
Just
you
won't
go.
say where.
All right, it's a plan. Lock it in. All right, let's get into the games for today. A lot of games today. I believe we have 9 games today. Am I right? Do we have 9? Do we have 8? Something along those lines. Anyways, first game we have today. First game on the board. Montreal Canadiens. You're wearing your hat. Winnipeg Jets. Right now.
That is a game tomorrow.
Oh, I'm on the wrong
That is a
date.
tomorrow night
Sorry.
game.
Columbus. I'm on the wrong date. That's not good. All right. Well, great start. Great start there. On the wrong date. That's good. All right. Columbus Blue Jackets taking on the New Jersey Devils. That game's today.
That game's today.
Minus 110 both sides on the money line. Total's at 6, minus 118 towards the over. Alex, I was going to start with you because I thought the Habs were playing today, but I was wrong. I'll throw to you first. Who do you like here and why?
I have 2 bets in this game, and 2 kind of larger bets. I bet the under closer to open, under 6.5 minus 125. I still like that to where it's kind of gone to now. But then we got the news that Marchenko was not going to play tonight, and the market's like, Marchenko who? I don't care. Bet Columbus anyways, and didn't really do much with the total. So I bet the under again. So I have a pretty big position on the under now. Under 6 is fine to like minus 105. There's still some plus money out there. And I bet the Devils rather aggressively. I don't love this Devils team, but I do think they've been playing a little bit better. I'm still not fully there in Columbus with Elvis starting, who I think is still a downgrade over Greaves. And then no Marchenko. Like I just couldn't get over the market not at all reacting to Marchenko and how like good he is and how much he does for this team kind of at both ends. So yeah, I have a pretty sizable Devils position as well. I think out to minus 110, and based on So Money's reaction in the background, it sounds like we might have our first head to head immediately to start things here.
All right. So Money? Head to head?
No, not particularly. I don't like the Devils in this game, but I didn't bet Columbus either because I don't. I mean, there's Marchenko, but also I'm not a fan of how up and down Merzlikins is these days. So that's what got me off of Columbus. But I was more interested in Alex's thoughts because I'm still far away on the Devils. It's just that the price just doesn't make sense for me to bet Columbus now. So I will. I'm passing on the game. I would have liked the under, but again, it's the Merzlikins factor. So I will pass on the game. It's not that. Actually, I do disagree with Alex on the side, but I can't get there on the number, so we can't make this a head to head though.
All right, no head to head there. Minus 110 for the Devils for Alex, but in Canada there's a minus 103. There's a minus 103. So, all right. Let's move on to the next game here. So, Money, you get to lead the way. Carolina Hurricanes taking on the Ottawa Senators. Hurricanes minus 182 right now on the money line. Totals 6.5 towards the over minus 112. So, Money, you gave us a couple picks to start off the show that are in the NFL. Yet to give an NHL one out, though. Second game. Do you have one here for us?
I do. I think that at this point we are all Senators, right? Mm-hmm. Right, Alex? I just like the way that this team is playing. I think that their numbers haven't caught up to them yet. Now, granted, they did take money today in the morning, and Carolina are playing very well. I just don't think that number has gone far enough. And also, we have Ottawa on a back-to-back as well, so that kind of takes away from that as well. But I still like Ottawa here down to plus 150. I think that I still show value there.
All right, Ottawa plus 150 is what we're looking at there. You can get that over at FanDuel Sportsbook, which is among the better prices in market. Alex, are you a fan of Ottawa? Are you a Senators, or is this are we going to get a head-to-head here?
I think we've established by now that So Money is very anti-bussy. And so I think that's the reason for this play here. I am not. I am all inclusive, and I very much don't want to bet the Senators right now. To be honest with you, with them on the back-to-back and with what I would expect to be Reimer and net, Olmark's been giving them some good goaltending. It's possible they go back to Olmark here. I think with how little hockey he's played lately, they won't. And that being said, I mean, there's about to be a big break, and they basically need all the points they can get. So it wouldn't shock me. I think it's still greater than 50% chance they go Reimer, but we'll see. But yeah, I like how Carolina's been playing. I really like how Carolina's been playing. Carolina was good in this matchup the other day as well. In Ottawa, and now they're getting them in Carolina where they can control the matchups and, sends on a back-to-back. I had no interest in betting Carolina earlier, but I guess thanks to So Money and others, it's kind of come down quite a bit. Mm-hmm. And so I did not quite a full play, but I did bet it for maybe like a 3/4 of a full play at the high minus 160s. Well, to be honest, I got minus 164, and there's still there's a minus 164 out there still, and there's high minus 160. So if we're okay with that, So Money, let's go head to head at like minus 165, plus 165.
Oh, that's right.
All right, yeah. So Money will take that. All right, head to head there. Carolina 165, and So Money, you're going to get Ottawa at plus 165 because that's how head to heads work. We're not going to make you pay juice there. But of course, you kind of do have to pay juice unless you're the audience. I was going to say the only person who is apparently anti-bussy is me because I'm not. Between all three of us, I don't have kids, so that's yeah. Anyways, let's move on to the next game here: Washington and Philadelphia. Washington minus 137 on the money line over at FanDuel. Totals at 6.5, juice towards the under minus 128. So Money, we'll start with you. You like anything in this game?
I do. I think we need to go back to the Capitals here. Flyers are a mess. Tocchet is being exposed for what they did. Just being careful for my words here. So I think that locker room is pretty much being ripped apart as well. It's a tough place to be in Philadelphia right now. I know Washington's on a back-to-back. Their goaltending is a little bit in flux. But we talked about Washington, that if we were kind of ahead on it as well, that if they're making a run, and I think that they're poised to, they're going to start stringing some wins together here. And I think that that's where we are right now. And I mean, the market hasn't caught up yet. And we're getting this number on the Capitals, who I think are poised to move up in the standings right now. So, back to the well again. We're on the Capitals.
All right, Capitals looking for that minus 130. Is that number okay? Seems like that's pretty good here. Minus 137, a little bit juicier.
The Capitals.
Sorry. I'm looking at the wrong side. Sorry, plus 115, plus 114. Let's go. We'll go plus 114 here. Sorry, plus 114.
Jason's anti-reading.
I'm alexic is what it's called. Not dyslexic. I've recently learned that. But anyways, Alex, your caps. Are we all caps right now? Caps lock on. What are we doing here?
I'm not double best betting it, but I definitely lean strongly that way. I really do like this Caps team, and I'm pretty invested in them anyways. I have a lot of to make the playoff stuff still at some worse prices that are probably available now and some better. I've basically bet it 5 different times. I still think they get there, and hopefully this is the start of a little bit of run for them. What we saw last night. Definitely agree with Philly just kind of being in shambles, and Tocchet. Tocchet's just I like what he tries to do. It's obviously just not working there, and I think that whole Michkov handling is what has kind of thrown him into flux and pissed the fans off. But I think Michkov is to blame for that as well. So yeah, I like Washington. Just not quite there at the number, especially because I already need them to win. So I will just sit this one out. Vladar also back now, and he's been back for a couple of games, and he hasn't really looked sharp. So it's possible that at that sort of injury layoff, he's maybe still not quite right. So maybe a little extra hidden value here in the Caps.
All right, maybe a little extra hidden value here for the Caps, but no play. It's okay. So money's got the play for us. Caps money line. Let's move on to Pittsburgh and York. Another game. Pick a -110, both sides. Over on FanDuel, totals at 6, juice towards the under -120. Alex, I'll let you lead.
Yeah, I had some interest in the Pens and the under at open, and just wasn't quite there. I was hoping we'd get there, and anyways, both those sides are the ones that took money, and I just didn't end up getting to bet anything here. So unless there's some, I don't expect there to be at all, but unless there's some significant Islanders and over money, and we can get like plus 108 or something like that, plus 110 on Pittsburgh, which I don't expect, or back to like a -110 on the under, then don't see myself getting involved here. But lean Pittsburgh and under, just nothing available in terms of betting it.
Nothing available, but hey, of course, discord.gg/hammer. We might have it later, but it doesn't seem like it's going to move there just based on your read of the market, Alex. But hey, you never know, it might. So you might just want to join it anyways in case it does. So, Money, you're next. Anything you like?
Sorry, Siakam was just ruled out here.
Ooh, all right. Any other sports plays?
Yeah, I did bet the Jazz +4.
All right.
But that's going to get below 3 now.
Well, go for Jazz +4 if you can. I'll filibuster for you for a little bit here, so Money. If you're trying.
No, I'm good. I'm good.
Okay. Hope.
Yeah. So Pittsburgh Islanders, same boat as Alex. I need plus money on the Penguins. They're still getting cheap prices in the market. It's just that I just need a little bit more. All right. I do like the Penguins. I'm not even opposed to playing them at this number. I just want to wait until we can get it a little bit better. So we're at -110, I guess. I would need like either plus money or like I'll go as high as like -105.
All right. As high as -105 there for the over there. Anything? No, that's it. Next game we have is Buffalo, Tampa Bay. Tampa Bay is like riding hot, infinite aura from this team just based off of that the outdoor game. Are you guys tired of the outdoor games, or you have the kind of same opinion as me where I can see why people are tired of it, but when it's done right, it is incredible. How do you feel about the outdoor games?
Same way. I was getting tired of it, but then we saw that game over the weekend, and I was like, holy shit! If every game is like gonna be like that, then just give me more of that. So yeah, if it's done right, I think it's great. Loved Cooper's outfit. Loved the way that I just like that kind of shit. So
yeah.
If they keep doing it like that, then just keep bringing it.
Yeah, it's like you can palette some of the bad ones for like when you get like a good one like that. I love how I've already have my Halloween costume for next year. Yeah,
there you go.
It's gonna be good. Uncle John coming through. Alex, you agree with this take here?
I remember being so excited for the first outdoor game ever because the Habs were in it, and it was like freezing cold night in Edmonton. And I was so stoked for that game, and I enjoyed them afterwards and a couple of them, and then it just the luster really wore off, and I just like to be honest, I watched I ended up tuning in after I wasn't watching live for the goalie fight. I ended up phone started going, so I tuned in after that and then tuned in for the comeback. But I was literally it was just another game. It's a Sunday night. I was watching a show with my wife, and that was it. I'm not even at a point where I'm like, oh, I need to tune in. There's an outdoor game tonight. I'd rather just, it doesn't change my, if it's a game I want to watch, it's a game I'll watch, and that's about it. Trivia question though. Any of you guys, Jason, you're just a child, so maybe you won't, but who scored the first outdoor game goal ever?
Who was
Hint
it?
is he played for the Habs. It was in 2003.
Oh God, the first one was in 2003. Oh,
Yeah.
2003.
I honestly don't even know if I know any Habs players 2003.
He was. I want to say.
Was he Russian?
Oh, he was Slovakian.
Oh, was Plekanec on those teams?
No.
That was my first thought, but I didn't think he would be on there. Former Leaf.
Plekanec was Czech from Czech Republic.
Former Leaf though.
Hint is
Give us other hints.
He had his wrist slit in a game once. Pretty scary incident. When he was playing for I think Florida at the time. He also, this is maybe like too niche of a hint, but like as a Habs fan, I'll never forget this. In 2004, the Habs were in the playoffs playing Boston, and he was the victim of a pretty dirty elbow cutting across the ice from not Kyle. I want to say Kyle McLaren was a defenseman on the Bruins that just like basically decapitated him and knocked him out for the series.
It's gonna bug me, man.
I don't know. Richard
Zednik.
Oh, Richard Zednik. Oh,
Okay.
man.
Yeah.
It's a name I haven't heard in a
that's
long
tough.
time.
That's tough.
Name I haven't learned in a long time. Well, I feel like chat's saying you're wrong because wasn't the first outdoor game in 1993 with the Kings, or was that just an exhibition game?
I don't know. I thought the 2003 one.
You better not be coming on this show giving out fake trivia. That's crazy town.
I'm like 99% sure that was the first one ever, but maybe I was wrong.
Yeah.
That's terrible.
The first one was that preseason game. This was the first
regular season.
The first Heritage Classic regular season game. Yes.
Okay. All right. Well, you get the pass there. I still think the best one was the Leafs Red Wings one, which
scary.
was that one was sick. But anyways, next game. Did you guys both cover Tampa Bay? I kind of we didn't get into this game. Sorry, Buffalo, Tampa Bay.
We didn't.
All right.
Yeah.
Tampa Bay minus 194 on the money line. Totals at 6.5 minus 124. Buffalo coming off a back-to-back big upset. Playoff team. Buffalo. What year is it? Are we sure? I would hope so after so many early first round picks. Alex, I'll let you start because you had a great piece of trivia there. So you're rewarded with talking about this game first. Anything you like here?
I did. I bet I bet the Lightning because they dipped into this minus 170s, and that's gone now. But my advice for this game would be just wait because I think it gets back to that point because I think Jonas Johansson probably starts, and I don't want to end up with the worst of the number. I don't mind it in like these low minus 180s too. I think we've gone too far with Buffalo in the back-to-back here. I know Tampa's dealing with a couple of injuries, but I still think they're being decently undervalued at this point. But yeah, once Johansson I think is confirmed in, because I do think it'll be Johansson, then I think this will drop again and we'll get those same prices back. So I would advocate for waiting here. And then if it ends up being Vasilevsky, we don't see two-way money in this market anyways. I don't think there's going to suddenly be a ton of Tampa money flooding in if it's Vasi. So I think the worst you can do is wait and end up with what's out there now. But I think if you do wait, you'll probably be rewarded with Johansson and a better number on Tampa.
All right. Looking to wait and attack on Tampa. There's the Discord play. That's what we're looking for. So money. Anything you like in this game?
Not right now. I do agree with Alex. I think that you guys know that I'm a Buffalo guy, but I think that we're starting to catch up here now. There was Buffalo money that came into the market, and I think that we've gone a step too far here considering Tampa Bay's caliber. Buffalo shouldn't be taking money like this against a team like Tampa Bay at this point. So I do like Tampa Bay, and I agree with Alex. We will get a little bit cheaper if we just wait around a bit.
All right, waiting for it to get cheaper. Shout out to Sammy as well in the chat. Sammy LaFleur calling out the Zednik piece of trivia. The third LaFleur brother, people don't really know that, but yeah, two of them are head coaches. One of them is in the Hammer Daily chat. Good to know. Appreciate you, Sammy. Next game, Edmonton, Toronto. This is the worst position that Toronto could be in because they should have held Nylander out. They should have forced Morgan Riley to play last night because then they probably would have lost. No, instead, they're going to win back-to-back games, go into the Olympic break, and maybe we have a chance and not sell all their players, which is going to be a tragic mistake, and I cannot wait for that. So, Money, I'm going to throw to you first. I know you're clicking that plus 152, plus 150, plus 156s that are out there in this game, even though it's on a back-to-back, believing in this Toronto team because this is the most Toronto outcome, to win this game and then end up not selling post-Olympic break. So, totals at 7, minus 134 to the other. Pretty high total in this game. Talk us through this one. So, Money, are you clicking Toronto?
So it would be such a Toronto team to thing to win this game, but that's not what I was clicking. I don't. I think that we'll see the Oilers respond a little bit here after the way they played the last game and the stuff coming out of their camp as well. I that under 7, that's a lot, right? So I mean, 7s are reserved for 2 teams that are playing pond hockey, that have no interest in defense and that have no interest to try to get better either. I don't see that here. I see an Edmonton team that tries to get better defensively, and I see a Toronto team that doesn't necessarily want to play pond hockey, and they have trouble generating as well. So bet the under here. There are, I mean, just trying to look at what price range we'd be looking at here currently, but up to minus 120, minus 125 is a little bit tough, but definitely up to minus 120. I like the under here.
If we like click down to a 6.5, is plus 125 okay, or would you need like a plus 130, or you wouldn't even play it at 6.5?
6.5 plus 125. Just trying the conversion in my head. Yeah, it's tight, but that's fine.
Okay, all right. Just wondering there because there's like we're in between right now. There's 7s, there's 6.5s out there. There's again a minus 116 on the 7. Go scoop that up. Like if you like the under, that's a pretty good price out there. Not at our sponsors on FanDuel, unfortunately, but it's all right. Alex, do you agree? Are you listen? You're a big fan of the Leafs. You see how much voodoo and magic is. Or I guess voodoo. What's the opposite of magic? I don't know. Dark magic that has been cast on this team. This is the most like Leafy outcome to win this game and not sell, thinking that you can compete. Are you clicking on the Leafs in this one?
It's the most Leafy outcome, but it's also not the same Leafs. This is not like, oh, this is such a Leafs thing to do to pull the team back in. Like it is a Leafs thing to do, but that's when the Leafs were capable of doing that.
Okay.
Beating Calgary and Vancouver does not change this team whatsoever. Now getting Edmonton on a back-to-back, little bit of a different situation. People have been betting the Leafs this morning. I guess people, I don't know, the market, whatever, have been betting the Leafs this morning, like Mitch Marner and, Chris Tanev and fucking Matt Sundin are playing in this game, man. I don't understand the love for the Leafs here. This is still not a team playing good hockey. This is still a team that's a mess defensively and now has, when they are getting results, like Woll has been playing really, really well. Now they're getting Stolarz in there, who's been terrible since coming back from injury, like beyond terrible. He has looked really, really bad. And that's just a terrible matchup for that to be exploited. Their, defensive issues / goaltending issues here. I really, really like Edmonton at this point. The minus 170s. I bet like minus 176 or something like that, or I'd have to pull it up earlier. And then I was like, there's no way it gets, or minus 174. And I was like, there's no way it gets lower than that. And then a 169 popped. And then I was like, wow, more money. So I bet it again. And I wouldn't be surprised if more Leafs money came in again at one point, and I bet it a third time. But I bet Edmonton here. I have a pretty big position on them given all the Leafs money that has come through so far. So I like Edmonton in this spot. I think matchup wise, they should be able to really just take it to the Leafs here, and a good spot for them too. They've been off for the last few days at home. This is like capping off a really long homestand, whereas the Leafs have been traveling and now on the back-to-back, like just a tough spot for them and a massive gap in quality between these two teams. So I bet the Oilers. Anything in these minus 170s is good. Honestly, I don't even think it's a bad bet in the low minus 180s, but why would you do that when you have all these minus 170s available.
All right. Seems like Edmonton money came in a bit on FanDuel. Now waked up to like that minus 188, but there's still that minus 180 out there. There's a minus 174 out there as well. Edmonton for you. Charles in the chat asking what do you think about the rumors of Morgan Rielly heading to Montreal?
I can't imagine a world in which they would find that necessary to do. Charles, just keep those thoughts to yourself.
Yeah. All right. So, Money, any interest in Morgan Rielly as a Vancouver fan? I know he's from Vancouver. Like, got a full no move clause, so you can kind of decide where he goes. But would that interest you at all?
No.
Okay. We're just kind of stuck with him, eh? That was a lot of people talk about the stuff that past GMs have done. That Morgan Rielly deal is far and away one of the worst deals in like Leafs history. It was not good at the time. It caused so much turmoil. Blocked a young good player in Rasmus Sandin. Just a horrible all-around good deal. 23-year-old me saw that was a bad deal. And yeah, people are starting to come around to it finally. What is it? 4 years after he signed till 2029. Should be fun. Anyways, last game, Seattle, Anaheim right now. The Ducks minus 142. Quack pack. Totals at 6.5, minus 116 towards the under. So, Money, are we back on the Ducks this today, or is this they just gone too far?
Yeah, we've gone too far here. I mean, actually, money came in on Seattle today. I don't see it. I want to bet the Ducks, but I do need it to be a little bit cheaper. I actually, again, I like both these teams. I know that Alex hates Seattle. He wants nothing to do with them. I'm okay with Seattle, but I really like Anaheim, and it's just that I just can't get in on this number. So I will pass here. Liking Anaheim. If it gets any cheaper, then that's the way that I would be looking.
All right. Waiting for it to get cheaper. Again, Discord play maybe from So Money or a play right now from Alex. You decide. Alex, are we going to get a play here, or is this passing on this one and calling it a day here?
I do hate Seattle, but no, I'm kidding. I have no interest in betting the Kraken. I have nothing in this game. Seattle did take a little bit of money, I guess, but it's like largely stayed kind of total and side have largely sort of stood firm since open. I think it's just because it opened in a pretty good spot, and there's not a ton of interest in either side, which I feel the same way here. I'm not going to be betting this game unless something pretty drastic happens news wise or market movement wise.
All right, sounds good. That's it. That wraps up the show. Quickly going to run through the bets that we had for today. Will the over half mistake for me cash? Probably. We'll see. So Money, I have you with Ottawa plus 150, Washington plus 114, Jazz plus 4, probably not available anymore. Pittsburgh, New York over 6, minus 102, Toronto, Edmonton under 7, minus 120. And then
over half a mistake cash already.
What?
I didn't bet you over.
No.
Oh, did you bet the under in that? You didn't.
No.
All right, you just kind of leaned it, or am I just taking crazy pills right now?
I don't think.
I think you're crazy.
I honestly, I haven't been told that many times before. I think I'm just a little bit in orbit because of the prop show. But anyways, Alex, you have the Devils minus 110, the Hurricanes minus 165, Tampa Bay minus 170, and Edmonton minus 180.
Yeah, and
oh, here we go.
The under in the Devils game as well. We had that.
Oh yeah, that was the first game we talked about. No, I missed that. Well,
yeah,
under 604.
So list those ones again. What did you have down for me?
Devils minus 110.
Yeah.
Canes 165.
Yeah.
Lightning minus 170.
Yeah, I think that's unfair to give out right now, though. I'd say put me down at minus 180 at least if you're going to do that, because it's not available at minus 170.
That's a future play. My apologies. And then Edmonton minus 180.
Yeah, there we go.
And then Devils.
And then
under
and then
6.
the under.
Devils Jackets under 604. There's a plus money out there, but no.
Yeah, there's plus money though. Go find that.
Yeah, go find that. Go dig in. Anyways. Someone's asking if I'm going to be on the prop show tomorrow. Stop asking. Apparently, I'm not going to be on. I don't know. We'll figure it out, Alex. I'll send you some Send you some stuff if you get me on. Anyways,
Basket of mini mugs or something.
Yeah. So Money, are you a Francesco Greco fan, by the way?
I've seen stuff, but I don't know him though.
Okay, I'm gonna keep this on air for this right now because I was supposed to do this when Rob was here. Shout out to Francesco Greco who released a children's book, "The Silence of Those Who Fell: A Boy Who Felt Too Much," by Francesco Greco.
That's cool.
Go buy it.
Wow.
Good
Is
for
it
him.
in Italian?
No, it's in English. Very. I obviously haven't read it, but I read the first 2 pages. Very interesting.
Obviously haven't read it.
Yeah, well, I mean, it's a children's book.
Obviously.
It's a children's
Why
book.
would I read a book?
So, yeah.
That's really cool.
Yeah. Shout out to Francesco Greco. There is no tomorrow. There is no tomorrow. Appreciate you, Francesco. Yeah, you can get that on Amazon. You can message him on Twitter if you are looking to get that. Anyways, want to have someone on there for that. Alex,
Appreciate
somebody,
that.
we will see you guys on here tomorrow. Oh, by the way, I didn't mention this on Monday. Tomorrow's Wednesday. Thursday as well. Wednesday, Thursday. You guys are going to be on here both days. Because I think someone came in here today not realizing you guys were on yesterday. So that's on me, not promoting that. We're going to be running edge work basically till the Olympic break. So a lot of hockey plays. Anyways, Alex, So Money, we'll chat soon. Talk to you guys tomorrow.
Sounds good. See you guys.
See you guys.
Great stuff there from the guys. They'll be on tomorrow. Yeah, there is no tomorrow. Well, there is a tomorrow, and there's gonna be edge work on tomorrow. Another person will be on tomorrow, Jeff Feinberg, who is pissed at me right now, saying I shouldn't have done that. You should not have called me out. We'll get into it tomorrow. Listen, he has the spot and I don't. I have the better record. I feel like it's fair to call him out. This is what it is. Anywho, appreciate you guys joining the show today. I believe we hit our highest concurrent viewers for the show so far. So appreciate you guys breaking a little bit of a record here. We'll do a little bit of a yay celebration. Appreciate you guys tuning in. Do us a favor, smash the like button. Goes a long way here on the channel if you're new to the channel as well. Hit the subscribe button. Thanks for everyone supporting the show. It's going to be fun. Apparently people like my misery of me not being on the prop show, but it is what it is. Shout out to Matt. Shout out to Rob. Shout out to So Money. Shout out to Alex. Shout out to Jacob for coming on today, having a great show. That's it. That wraps it up for today. It's been a Tuesday, February 3rd edition of the Hammer Daily here on the Hammer Betting Network, presented by our good friends at FanDuel. We will see you guys right here tomorrow.